It's my second favorite helmet in the Star Wars universe, and I had to add it to my collection. I'm going to show you what I did to make this Galactic Armory Scout Trooper today on Darth Rage Reviews.
Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force? Nah, for the Republic!
Greetings, Force fans, and welcome to another episode of Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force. So today, this is actually a moment, and I was kind of surprised when I got into the middle of this build, but I realized this is the first Imperial helmet that I've actually worked on. The first Imperial helmet. So let's take a moment of silence for the Empire. There you have it. So this is actually, probably my first love of a helmet in the Star Wars universe. When I saw the Scout Trooper, which back then I called them the Biker Troopers. When I saw the Scout Trooper in Return of the Jedi, it was the epitome of badass. It was basically a motorcycle cop in Star Wars, and the speeder bike was awesome. The helmet was awesome. The armor was awesome. It's all leather and the plastic armor, or the whatever you call that. It was just really cool armor, and it was really my first love. Then Clone Troopers came around, and then that became my top love and my top helmet, my top armor in the Star Wars universe. But this is always my original, and still to this day my second favorite helmet. So I got this file from Galactic Armory. And again, if you do anything from Galactic Armory, please, when you're checking out, put discount code DarthRage in there. You're going to save like 10%, 15%. I don't even know what the percentage is, but it's a good percentage. So make sure to do that. A small portion comes back to me. So you're helping out the man. So I got this from Galactic Armory. I enjoy it. I like this helmet. This helmet would not pass 501st approval, and there's like several different issues with it. This whole thing needs to be a little longer. I don't think the greeblies on here are exactly correct. A big problem is there's kind of, you can see the space in here, which you're not supposed to be able to see. This lip here really should come down a little bit further. As I understand it, Aaron is working with the Pathfinders, and that's the CRL, or the group that covers Scout Troopers with the 501st, to make any adjustments, any needed adjustments he needs to this helmet. But for me, I love it. I think it looks awesome. I'm not going for any kind of 501st approval for this. This was just a fun little project for me. So for me, it works. This thing came in, let's say, 4 different parts. It was the top, the back, the front, and then the little greebly part in here that slides in. Put it all together, and I have this nice battle damaged, weather worn Imperial Scout Trooper helmet. So this is the finished product, but of course it started as like a flat piece of plastic, and let's show you what I did to put this all together. It's a process that I've showed a bunch of times, but I still do love sharing it with y'all. So let's take a look at how you take a 3D print and turn it into something that looks a whole lot more realistic like this. Let's take a look. All right, so we start this whole process. I'm doing a little Bondo slurry. So I take Bondo, I mix it with acetone, and it really helps to kind of get into all the little print layer lines, and it's a good way to do a first coat on all of this. I did this over the whole thing. I want to do the inside and the outside of the helmet because this one kind of pops up, the visor pops up, so you're going to be able to see in there. After that, it's on to the sanding. So I start this with my electric sander. It just kind of makes the process a whole lot easier. I get over the areas that I can with that. I just can't hit it all with the electric sander because there's a lot of curved spaces and a lot of little bitty spaces on here. So you got to make sure that you go back over it with a hand sander as well. But the electric sander takes a lot of the work out of it. Then it's hand sanding. So got to go through and really kind of hit all of this stuff. So you sand it all down, everything that you've put this acetone Bondo slurry over, sand the entire thing down. Then I rinse it off, didn't show that this time. Then it's time for the first coat of filler primer. And this is going to really show you where you've got more work to do. And then, you know, I have to come back at it with some regular Bondo after this just to make sure everything kind of goes together. But yeah, this is the first section that shows you where you need extra work. Then I come at it with regular Bondo. This helmet has a lot of curves on it, and the curves are the hardest areas to kind of get rid of those layer lines on. So I'm coming back with Bondo over the whole thing, and I literally mean almost the whole thing, just to kind of, you know, get those places that the acetone slurry didn't get fully. So it's one coat of this, and again, you let that dry, sand it down. Lots of sanding. Same process. So I'm using the electric sander first just to take the majority of the work out of it. I think I'm using a 200 grit sandpaper on here. 200 grit before I get to the final one, and then I sand it with the 400. So 200 grit sandpaper, sand all of that Bondo down, and then again another coat of filler primer just to really show you what everything's kind of, you know, happening, what's happening with this. So this time there was only a couple little spots after this that I needed to do, but sanded it down, and then it's about ready for the white coat of paint. But first I want to rinse it off, and I just want to show you this process. I literally just take it to the sink, rinse the whole thing off, and dry it off. So before I throw the white paint down on this, or sorry, another coat of filler primer, and then the white paint, I need to glue the lid to the back of the helmet. So it's a little CA glue, some super glue, and some activator there to get that stuck on there nice and good. And then one last little set of Bondo spot putty to get the top of the helmet and to get this gap where I just glued it in there. So that around there, there's a couple parts around the ears that I need to get, and then I had to put a whole other coat on the top just because that thing had quite a few lines on it. So sand that down one last time, rinse it down one last time, spray paint it with another coat of filler primer, and then it is time for the white base coat. Painting white onto this light gray like this, you know, it's easy to go overboard in those first coats, so make sure to do a lot of really light coats. And I think I went through three, four times on this with light coats just to make sure I didn't get any dribbles, anything like that. I still ended up with a couple little dribbles on that, but I can always change those and make those into weathering of some sort or another. So 3 or 4 coats of the white paint, and I think I'm using Blossom White Rust-Oleum here. Then I got to take that front greebly, paint it gray, because that part is gray. Then tape off the top of the nose portion here, and this is a black line that kind of goes around the whole thing. So I tape that off so I can get that painted on there good. Very simple. And then I also have to paint the ear holes black. So tape those off also and paint those black. So I let the mouth dry and then remove the paint in the center, and then I got to paint that whole center portion gray. And then you kind of slide the greeblies up under there, and it all looks the same. Also painted these 2 little circles on the side. They had to be a dark charcoal gray as well, or black, I can't really tell. Then it's time to apply the decals. So I purchased a decal kit for this. It's just a lot easier than trying to fake all of these things and hand draw them. So it came with a set of decals for the front here. There's the one right over the nose, and then the one on the forehead, those little 3 lines. You get a funky little symbol that kind of looks like a fish hook. It goes on the side of it. Not exactly sure what that is. Nice little shiny silver one. You've got these 2 kind of, I don't know what those are supposed to be, vents in the back. So little decals for those, and then the tube stripes that go along the back here as well. A nice little decal set for that. I highly suggest anytime that you can get decals for these things to get the decals. It's just a whole lot easier than trying to hand paint this stuff. And it's on to the weathering. This is a process that you've seen a whole bunch. You know, I start with a black wash, acrylic black wash. That's acrylic paint and water, just black paint. Go through, use a little rub and buff to kind of bring out the fake metal look on these greeblies. I love rub and buff. It's just such a cool, easy thing to work with. Then I'm going through and doing some dry brush in here. I use brown. I use a little black. Did my standard blaster marks. You know, all of it you've seen in other videos, so I'm just not taking the time to show it in here. But yeah, it brings life to these things. And then I also did this little, I feel like that's where the helmet moves up. It would have weathered like that. And a coat of clear coat. That's all you do. It's all done. That's how we did it. So that's the process. That's it. It's what goes into, you know, making one of these things, and it's really the same for any of them. You know, just only gets different with the painting process and that kind of stuff. I do love the effects that I've come out with for this. So got a couple cool blaster marks. This one on top, I love that. Kind of see the silver coming through in there. I like the weathering I did on both of whatever rivets that you call these. I don't know. This is where the helmet would spin up and spin down, and I kind of feel like some of that would leak down here. And then just these big kind of dirty marks that I've got on the side over here and there. All this dirt in the back. Yeah, it's just, I feel like I did a really good job with this. I feel like this one's one that I'm proud of. So yeah, you know, when I get a helmet like this, then you know the next kind of impulse in me is man, I really want the full costume. So I don't know, maybe something that I decide to do one day. It'd be a whole lot that I'd have to purchase, and you know, because I don't know anything about the sewing and the. You know, also I'm having to purchase like an entire under bodysuit that it gets really expensive for that. So it's something I got to decide if I want to do. But I do love the armor and I do love the look of it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments while we take some closer looks at this. Do you like the helmet? Do you like what I've done with the helmet, the weathering on it? You know, where does the Scout Trooper rank in your, you know, rank of helmets? So let me know all of that, guys, in the comments. I'm very interested in seeing it. And is there a helmet you want to see me do next? You know, because I'm kind of at a stopping point now. Don't have anything on the plate. So, you know, is there a helmet in the Star Wars universe or another universe that you would like to see me make? Let me know in the comments. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a nice little project to create a Scout Trooper helmet from the Galactic File Armory, or the Galactic Armory files. And I think it turned out pretty good. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, I'm Darth Rage. This is Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.